This story is about a small village called Shivpur. Shivpur was a quiet and desolate place where people only ventured out during the day. On one end of the village stood an old mansion known as the Haunted Mansion. It was hundreds of years old and no one dared to go near it. People whispered that the mansion was home to a mysterious spirit that would come out at night. One day, a young boy named Ranir moved to the village. He had heard about the old mansion and was curious to see it for himself. Despite the villagers repeatedly warning him, he paid no attention to their fears. His curiosity grew stronger, and one evening he decided to visit the mansion. Around 10 p.m. he arrived at the mansion. The walls were covered in cobwebs and dust, and the air inside was cold and heavy. Ranvir's heart raced, but he pushed through his fear and stepped inside. As soon as he entered, the doors and windows of the mansion slammed shut on their own, and an eerie silence filled the air. Suddenly, Ranir felt a presence, as if someone was watching him. He turned around, but there was no one there. The sound of his own footsteps echoed in the quiet, adding to the sense of unease. He continued further into the mansion, and as he entered a large room, a voice suddenly called out from the corner, "Who's there?" Ranir froze, turning quickly, but again no one was visible. The voice repeated, "Who's there?" With trembling hands, Ranir mustered the courage to ask, "Who are you?" "I'm the one who resides in this mansion," the voice replied. "Anyone who enters here never leaves." Now terrified, Ranir looked around, trying to make sense of the situation. He noticed a figure slowly emerging from the shadows in the corner of the room. It was a woman, her face twisted with a strange, eerie smile. Her face looked dead, her eyes hollow, like those of a lost soul. Her smile and gaze filled Ranvir's heart with dread. The woman took a step forward and said, "You have disturbed my peace. Now you too will stay here forever." Ranir, now completely frozen in fear, tried to run, but the door wouldn't open. He hurried to the windows, but they too were sealed shut. The entire mansion seemed to close in on him, trapping him. His attempts to escape were futile. Suddenly the woman was right beside him, whispering, "You cannot leave because you tried to free me. Now you will take my place." In a panic, Ranir screamed for help, but his voice was swallowed by the darkness of the mansion. The next morning, the villagers arrived at the mansion, only to find that Ranir was nowhere to be seen. The mansion stood in eerie silence, as if nothing had happened, but when they looked inside, they saw a woman standing in the exact same spot where Ranir had been. Her appearance had changed. She now looked just like the young boy. The villagers understood then that the mansion claimed yet another soul, and it would forever remain the home of the lost.